Right, go. Action.
Action.
Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. If you're new around here, my name is Aiden, and as you saw with the thumbnail and the title, in today's video we will be taking a look at my top 10 favourite sneaker pickups for 2022. This could actually end up being my very final video for the month. As we approach Christmas, it's getting busier and busier and harder to make these videos. So I did want to make this video before I got too busy to, and there are so many incredible sneakers that we picked up this year, it would be rude not to. So I don't want to keep you guys in suspense. I'm excited to get into this one. So sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get straight into this video. Now, first things first, before we dive into the list, I do just want to say that making this list was absolutely incredibly difficult. We picked up so many incredible sneakers that unfortunately didn't make the cut because of how many we actually picked up this year. Now, there are a couple that I did just want to give a quick shout out to that couldn't make the list on a technicality. So there are 3 shoes that we did actually reach back for, which was starting off with the Air Max 90 Bacons, which I did get for my birthday in January of this year. Still to this day, one of my favourite pickups for the year, and if they did release this year, it would have definitely made the top 10. We then went on to pick up the Air Jordan 3 True Blues, which if you saw my Grails video, you'll know how special that shoe is to me, and how incredibly glad I am to be able to say that we got them in the collection as well. And then last but by no means least, we then picked up the Air Max 1 Chinatown NYCs. Again, another absolutely incredible pickup from eBay of all places, especially considering earlier this year all the issues we were having. So 3 incredible sneakers that would have definitely made this top 10, definitely deserve the shout out, but unfortunately, because they didn't release this year, they just don't make the list. But with all that said, you're not here to listen to me ramble on. Let's go ahead and get straight into the list. So no mucking about, getting straight into this list. In at number 10, we have the Air Jordan 4 in the Midnight Navy colorway. One of our more recent pickups that we only actually picked up within the last few weeks, thanks to an S&S last minute restock. Very glad to say that we was able to add these into the collection. When they first officially released, I was unfortunate with raffles like a lot of people were, and I ended up missing out on these, and I'd really never expected to get them, especially when I was looking at those resale prices. But fortunately enough for me, S&S came through, and I was very glad to be able to add these into the collection. Probably as close to the white cements as I'm ever going to get without actually getting the white cements. So this is definitely one of those pairs that deserve to make its place on the list. Very much a late entry to the list as well. But I got to say, the quality, the details, the design, definitely really glad to say that this is in at number 10. Now, I will also be leaving links to all of the reviews that we've actually done, because every one of these shoes has actually had a full review. So if you want to check them out, I'll make sure to leave them above in the links. But I will also be able to link everything down below in the description box area if you do want to check them out in a bit more detail. But with that said, in at number 10, we have the Air Jordan 4 Midnight Navies. So just moving on swiftly to the next one, in at number 9, we have the DJ Khaled Crimson Bliss Jordan 5s. Again, another recent pickup and another recent entry into this list that wasn't going to make it. I almost feel a little bit bad for the shoes that got bumped for these. But again, another really high quality Jordan release. One that, again, I wasn't really expecting to get. We actually managed to hit these on initially the shock drop, but then we had all the controversy with the actual release itself. And then they were sitting at a bunch of different retailers, so these were quite easy to get in the end. But overall, I was very glad to get these and add them into the personal collection. As you can see, I've still got the laces attached. I haven't done the lace swap, which I am intending to do, which is the blue lace swap. But I'm really excited to keep these on ice until I go on my first family holiday into Turkey next year. So definitely really excited about this one. I even managed to get a Fear of God hoodie, which actually is a pretty good matchup in terms of the colourway. So the fit's coming together quite nicely. The quality of the shoe is absolutely exceptional. The leather is great. The details are great. We've got a padded sock liner, Nike Air on the heel, and considering how nice this shoe actually is, very surprised that I'm sure that this won't be making a lot of people's top 10s. But for me, a really exceptional shoe. Even if you don't like DJ Khaled, the shoe itself is just absolutely incredible and definitely deserving of its place on the list. So just moving on swiftly, and I swear I'm not doing this on purpose, again we have another late entry. So in at number 8, we have the Nike Air Max 90 in the hemp colorway. Again, another brilliant shoe that was executed perfectly, from the colorway to the materials to the details, and another shoe that probably would have made this list anyway, depending on when I got it in the year. But I feel like because I got it so recently and it's just so fresh in my mind, I'm a little bit surprised that this isn't actually a little bit higher up on the list. It's just a beautiful sneaker, the best Air Max 90 to release this year in my opinion. And the fact I got it for literally £101, whatever it was at the time, I'm definitely really glad to say that we got these in the collection. So again, it's just a really nicely executed shoe. It's really autumnal. It goes with a lot of different outfits. The Air Max 90 is incredibly nice to wear just as an everyday runner. So yeah, again, really glad to add these into the personal collection. I am trying to keep these short and sweet because I do want you guys to see the full review. So I'm only going to really say little bits and bobs throughout this like list and sectioning. So said all I really have to say about this one. In at number 8, we have the Nike Air Max 90 in the hemp colourway. So moving on swiftly to the next shoe up on our list. Next up, we have the Air Jordan 4 Canyon Purples. Now, this one is definitely a Marmite release, a bit of a Marmite pickup in general. There was a lot of people that were feeling these, a lot of people hated them. And when this shoe officially did release, which I believe was Sneakers Day, if I'm not mistaken, I remember getting these and just being so gassed to actually get him in the collection. Give off a really strong Halloween vibe. We got him in time for Halloween, which is actually the only time I've actually worn these so far. I haven't really worn many of these shoes because a lot of them up to this point, besides this one, have been relatively recent pickups, but I have actually worn this one once already. I think, again, it's really well executed. The quality of materials is exceptional. The colorway is bright, it's bold, it's vibrant, and it's just one of those ones that's a little bit of a head turner. It may not be a shoe that I'm going to wear that often because, again, I feel like it's one of those ones I'm kind of going to save for around that Halloween period. But as and when I decide to wear these, I feel like it's a really great sneaker. It's probably the most comfortable Air Jordan 4 that I've ever not only reviewed but had in the collection and actually worn. So if you are looking for that comfortable Jordan 4 and the other ones aren't doing it for you, take my word for it. These are just absolutely incredible on feet, feel like slippers, and probably with that should have been higher up on the list, but there you go. So in at number 7, we have the Air Jordan 4 Canyon Purples. So just jumping back from Jumpman back over to Air Maxes, next up we have the Nike Air Max 1 Crepe Hemps. This shoe speaks for itself. The execution, the details, the design, the price point, we definitely came in a lot higher than a lot of the other Air Max 1 releases from this year. Air Max 1s have radically changed my collection. It's now the shoe that I have the most pairs of. I think we've got about 15 or 16. At the start of the year, I think we only had one. But shoes like this being so beautifully executed is the reason that I've become so obsessed with collecting Air Max 1s. There isn't anything that I could really say about this shoe that would really give it justice. It's just an absolutely beautiful shoe, from the colours to the details to the materials. And even though this was £165, I had absolutely no gripes with paying it. It was definitely money well spent, just in terms of how nice this sneaker actually is. Again, it is one of those ones I would highly recommend you do check out the full review for, because this little section within this video doesn't do it the justice it deserves. It's an incredible sneaker which I do believe is still pretty available across multiple sizes, across multiple retailers. So if you were considering picking these up, I would highly recommend that you do. Just check out the reviews, see what people are feeling, not just myself. Try and get like a varied opinion on it if you're kind of on the fence. But this for me is definitely deserving of its place on the list. One of my favourite pickups, definitely one of my favourite Air Maxes. So in at number 6 we do have the Nike Air Max 1 Crepe Hemps. So besides taking slightly longer with the Crepe Hemps, we've been actually breezing through this list a lot quicker than I was expecting. But I do feel like this number 5 entry is actually going to catch some of you guys off guard to see how low it actually is in my list. So in at number 5 we have the Air Jordan 1 Lost and Founds. Now this shoe is absolutely incredible. I am by no means a Jordan 1 person. I've always said that. I've just never really liked the comfort of them. But there is something about this shoe that just made me go absolutely crazy for it, like a lot of people. And when this released, unfortunately, like a lot of people, I did take L's. But fortunately enough for me, thanks to Size Liverpool, I was able to secure my pair, and I'm still absolutely incredibly grateful that I was. It's an incredible shoe with an incredible history, the story behind it in terms of the backstory, and then all the little Easter eggs that you get with the shoe itself, like the additional details in the box, the tissue paper, the receipt. Just everything about the shoe is incredible. I feel like a lot of people are going to say that this is their shoe of the year, and if it is, I'm not going to complain about it. I can easily see this being a lot of people's number 1. But just because of how I feel about the other shoes within this list, the top 4, unfortunately, this begrudgingly had to come in at number 5, but I feel like if it comes in at number 1 for you guys, I can understand it, I can fully respect it, and again, really glad to have this in the collection. So in at number 5, we have the Air Jordan 1 Lost and Founds. So just moving on to the next shoe up on our list, next up we have the Nike Air Max 97 Silver Bullets. That might actually confuse a lot of people to have these Silver Bullets in over the Lost and Founds, but I waited 5 whole years to get these. I'm not even playing, I was so excited to get these, and pretty much soon after I got them, I actually wore them, which I do try to do as much as possible. I'm definitely an advocate for wearing your sneakers, but when you get as many as we all do, it sometimes can be a little bit tricky to actually wear them right away. but there wasn't long between doing the review and putting these on feet, maybe like a day or so. This is a shoe that I'm just incredibly grateful to have. Just seeing how my life has developed from 5 years ago when they released in 2017 and the financial position I was in then, and then comparing it to now where I'm able to sit here and talk about 10 sneakers that I've picked up. At that point in time, I wouldn't even be able to buy 2 sneakers in a year. So I feel incredibly grateful and incredibly fortunate to have these, and it's just one of those ones that I feel like there's a little bit of extra sentimentality associated with it, which gives it a few notches up the list itself. So this is definitely up there as one of my favourite releases of the year. Readily available still. Definitely recommend you should get them. It's a classic. It's one of the best Air Maxes of all time. And again, could have easily come in slightly higher up on this list. So in at number 4, we have the Nike Air Max 97 Silver Bullets. So as we've reached number 3 for our list, I did think it was only fitting to actually have 3 sneakers reserve this one spot. So with that, you probably already know what the next one is. So next up, we have the Complete Concepts pack. Now, I still can't believe that I've completed the pack. It's the first and only time in my sneaker collecting life that I've actually completed an entire pack. Now, I originally started off with the heavies, which we did pick up on my son's birthday, believe it or not. We then picked up the mellows on Air Max Day, and I then picked up the far outs from eBay with all the special box and all the special details that came along with it. In my personal opinion, this is one of the best packs I've ever released, in my personal opinion that is, and I just feel like it was executed to perfection. The details on each individual shoe tell a different story of Woodstock, and I just feel like they almost invoked a different emotion as well. So we have, like I say, the heavies, the far outs, the mellows. It's a different vibe with a different fit, and all of them are absolutely incredible. All year I've been kind of toying with the idea that this would be my number 1. Number 2 and number 1, they all kind of swap around from a day-to-day basis. Maybe tomorrow I'll regret putting these in at number 3, but I definitely feel like this is an absolutely incredible shoe. Just an incredible pack, an incredible collaboration. Concepts absolutely nailed it. So in at number 3, we have the Concept Air Max 1s, completed it. So as we approach that number 1 spot for this list, this shoe again only just narrowly misses out. So in at number 2, we have the Air Jordan 3 Fire Reds. Probably one of the more underrated shoes for this year, if you're asking me. This shoe for me is by far my favourite Jordan retro. Jordan 3s are my favourite Jordan silhouettes, and all year I was waiting for these. The 6-month build up to this shoe coming out, I was constantly ramping myself up to make sure that I got these. I remember when they did actually shock drop, I was out at the time, I wasn't able to get them, and I was absolutely fuming, both inside and outside, internalizing it, verbalizing it. I was so gutted that I couldn't get him on the shock drop. But fortunately enough for me, a very good Samaritan actually came through and hooked me up before the actual shoe came out, so I was able to get the review out early, which is something we, of course, try to do a lot on this channel. And then just ever since then, you know, I've actually worn these quite a few times. I've worn them recently. It's just up there as one of my favourite shoes in my collection. Forget this year, just in general, this is one of the pillars of my collection, along with the True Blues and the Black Cements, and hopefully soon come the White Cements next year, which, spoiler alert, will probably be number 1 or number 2 of next year's list as well, just because of how much I love those initial OG colourways. So again, very, very excited to have these, very much considering doubling up while the prices are still quite low. I absolutely love this shoe, I wear it quite often, and again, could have easily made that number 1 spot. So in at number 2, we have the Air Jordan 3 Fire Reds. And just like that, we've reached the number 1 spot, my favourite pickup for this entire year, which I'm sure a lot of people who are watching will have already been able to guess by what came in at number 3 and number 2. So in at number 1, we have the Casino Air Max 1s in their complete glory. There was no way I could get one or the other. This was a case of they were made to be together, they belong to be together, and in my collection they will stay forever. You know, I'm very much a romanticist. You know, I'm about to celebrate my 10-year anniversary with the missus. So when I started to learn the backstory behind these and about everything there is to do with Casino's thought process going into this shoe, I just fell immediately in love with this shoe, and it was so stressful to me at the time to consider not actually getting these. Now on release day, unfortunately, I got none. 0, nil, nada. My missus was actually able to come through for this pair, which is actually my favourite of the two, to be completely honest. So she was able to secure me this pair, and then as you can see, we do still have the eBay tag on it, which means that, you know, I haven't actually worn this just yet, because, you know, cut your tags off, people. I'm actually saving them to actually go on holiday as well as my anniversary, so I'll be wearing this one on my 10-year anniversary with the missus, and I'll be wearing this one on the airport run when I take my kids on the first family holiday. So not only do I love them for the backstory, but I'm creating my own backstory in them as well. Maybe call it mushy, maybe it's sentimentality at its finest, but there's something about these that I just absolutely love. Again, like I said with the Fire Red 3s, I wouldn't begrudge picking up another one of these. The details, the materials, everything about these shoes is incredible. The outsole in particular is absolutely gorgeous on these, so definitely deserving of its number 1 spot. Could have been number 2, could have been number 3, but in the end, in at number 1, we have the Nike Air Max Casinas. Just absolutely incredible. And just like that, we've wrapped up my top 10 favourite sneaker pickups for all of 2022. Now, as I was saying a little bit earlier on, I did actually create separate lists for Air Max 1s as well as Jordan pickups into individual sets of 10. If you do actually want to see those videos as well of my top 10 Jordans and top 10 Air Max 1s, do make sure to comment that in the comment section down below so I know you guys want to see it. I really wasn't sure if I was just kind of milking it a little bit too much and kind of overdosing on those list videos, which I love to do. So if you guys want to see those individual lists as well, because there are plenty of Air Maxes, there are plenty of Jordans that could have easily made this list on another day, and there are definitely an opportunity for me to show you some of my other favourite pickups as well. So again, if you want to see any of them, let me know in the comment section down below. But besides that, I'd love to get your guys' opinion on this year. Let me know how I got on, let me know how you think this list went, and was there any surprise entries that you feel like were higher on the list than they should have been, or shouldn't have been in the list at all? Just let me know all of your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And if this video does turn out to be my final video of 2022, again, I just want to cap off this video by saying what an incredible year it's been for the channel and for me personally. And if this is the last time we do see each other this year, I hope you guys have an incredible Christmas with your families, with your friends. I hope you get everything you want. I hope you get everything you hope for. And if this is the last time, I will see you all again in the new year. As always, I do appreciate you guys tuning into this video. So till the next time, see you guys soon. Peace.